That guy's name is Sean Morrow. And if you guys didn't catch this quickly as he threw that out there, there's news. Eli Lilly, the pharmaceutical giant, is cutting their insulin costs by 70%. And also the out-of-pocket fees will be limited to $35 a month. Wow, these are new, huge revelations. He seems pretty smug as he's talking about this new news. I mean, why isn't he happy? The reason he's smug is because, as he pointed out, he's the guy who tweeted out that whole thing with Eli Lilly that we're gonna get to the details of that in a second. But first, there's a politician that has been working on things like this for some time. So I guess we can't give too much credit to Mr. Morrow there, because one Bernie Sanders has been talking about this. Maybe it inspired him. Remember this from a few years ago?
As some of you may recall, in 2019, I took a busload of folks who were diabetics from Detroit, Michigan to an hour north into Windsor, Ontario in order to buy insulin. And what these diabetics found is they could buy the exact same insulin products in Canada for 1/10 of the price they were paying in the United States. And I will never forget tears welling up in the eyes of some of these people. As a result of the pressure that the American people are now putting on the pharmaceutical industry, telling them to stop the greed, stop ripping off the American people, stop forcing families to see loved ones die because they can't afford prescription drugs. As a result of all of that, what we saw today is Eli Lilly substantially lowered the price they're going to be charging for insulin.
So there's the Bernie Sanders line of this, as he was showing people what it is they could be living like versus what it is that they're dealing with instead. Let's go back to Mr. Sean Morrow, who was in that first clip, who set up that fake Eli Lilly account and did this, if you guys remember. The Eli Lilly and Company with the check at the time after Elon Musk took over Twitter and allowed everyone to just impersonate folks with no recourse. And then he wrote, "We are excited to announce insulin is free now." And then everything went crazy. People started wondering. Headlines like this one from the Washington Post started circulating. A fake tweet sparked panic at Eli Lilly and may have cost Twitter millions. It definitely cost Eli Lilly potentially billions in stock, and then made people wonder, well, wait a second. How come insulin isn't free, or how come it isn't cheap in all these other realms? Because this is the United States of America. I thought we were so much more privileged, and we spend all of our tax money and many of this development, and we're paying more exorbitant amounts for our damn health. Crazy how that works. Because Sean, again, Morrow pointed out the aftermath of that tweet and the response to it, and how happy he is that this has happened. Watch that.
Hey, my name's Sean, and this is how I accidentally made national news with $8, 9 words, and like 10 minutes. When Elon Musk announced that anyone could buy Twitter verification for $8, critics were quickly like, yeah man, that's not a great idea, you shouldn't do that, including his own team. But he did it anyway, and it went as expected. Nearly 40 million Americans have diabetes. 1 in 4 people with type 1 or 2 diabetes are forced to ration their insulin because of the high cost, often hundreds of dollars per vial for the uninsured. But insulin doesn't cost that much to produce, sometimes as little as $10 a dose. That's more than I paid to make my Twitter Blue account. And I created an account for the multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical giant Eli Lilly. Major politicians responded, memes were made, the account was suspended, and the real Eli Lilly responded. No, they made clear, insulin is not free. But why not?
But why not is always the question, Ray. So as this whole thing happened, Sean Morrow is, I guess, some kind of a hero. But Eli Lilly has finally folded at least a bit.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I saw it when it was happening. It was very funny. And so to see, especially through the tireless efforts of Bernie Sanders and other, politicians who have been fighting to, check the pharmaceutical companies in this country that put profits over people, to see the fruits of that borne out is really great. And to know that so many people who rely on insulin, who are diabetic in America now, might not have to ration it anymore, or go, without it, or be unable to afford, this dire medication that's necessary to their lives. So, I mean, it's a great story. And, if it's born out of Elon Musk's incompetence, that's just like the cherry on top.
It's all we need, just a few openings here, and the fact that Morrow there had the foresight to realize what he could possibly pull off there, and actually maybe he just thought it as a joke and people wouldn't really see it or figure that there was such a thing, but he's literally changed some folks' lives with that one move there. Which, by the way, I want to point this out because when I was thinking about that, I was thinking about the fights that people have and how people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and many conservatives literally hate leftists, libs, Democrats in some cases because of the fights and the things that they're going towards. If you hated that guy who was looking smug in the first video, talking about what he did and pushing Eli Lilly to actually do something normal, and you hate people like that, you hate them because they're looking to make the country better for people like you who hate them. Like the basis for your hate and disdain is, I can't believe he's doing things that will make things fair for me, that will stop corporations from gouging me, that will stop politicians from lying and screwing me over, that just might save my damn life. I hate that guy. Many of the things that these woke canceling leftists that you hate so much, they're fighting for your sorry ass.
Yeah, and if you're not a politician who's getting massive campaign contributions from the pharmaceutical industries, you have no reason to be upset about this. I promise you that. You lose nothing and gain a lot by having these pharmaceutical companies in check and accountable, at least, to the needs of the people that they're supposed to be providing this life-saving medication for.
Right, 100%. And then they'll talk about how great they are and they're saving lives. Come on, bro.